Hey guys! So I know that it's Wednesday and I know that I totally forgot to make my video on Sunday, so I'm really sorry. But Jess is going to be gone for the next few weeks. She's at camp and Caitlin was going to make her video today, but I said, no, I'll make her video. There's Max again. On to the topic in question. The family in Toronto that is raising their third child genderless. What do you think about that decision? Good, bad, somewhere in between. And our feelings for introducing the idea of gender to kids and how I would go about raising. Anyway, yeah, so you know it. I think that is a very bad decision. I know right now with this kid who's only like 4 or 5 months old, it's great, but as Darren said, once this child gets to school, there's no point. Everything's gone down the drain because school is so gender specific. I mean, think about it. Even back in like pre-K, boys over here, girls over there, especially in pre-K and kindergarten and stuff, because that's one of the things you are taught. Boys are these, these are boys, these are girls. It's something you're taught in like the little kid classes. And so I just think that it's a bad decision because it's a nice thing to try, but honestly, it's not gonna end the way they want it to. And why get your hopes up when it's obviously not going to end that way? And I know I'm being kind of pessimistic about this, but it's true. Things aren't going to turn out the way they think they're going to, and they're going to be very disappointed, this family, and they need to, this kid is going to look down and see a penis or a vagina, when they're 4 or 5 years old and be like, oh, I'm a boy, oh, I'm a girl. Sorry to be so blunt. My feeling about introducing the idea of gender to kids and how I would go about raising a kid that isn't hindered by gender stereotypes. I think that it's great if a kid doesn't want to follow gender stereotypes. I didn't follow gender stereotypes. My brother didn't follow gender stereotypes. We just didn't. We obviously did do things like I love dolls, but I also loved Lego. And I think that gender stereotypes, especially when you're a kid, aren't something that should be so ridiculously reinforced, but they shouldn't just be left to rot. They are something, there needs to be some type of structure in a small child's life when it comes to something like who they are, because a small child, right now you may be thinking, Sarah, what are you saying? Gender should be something somebody chooses for themselves. But when you're 5 years old, even 6, 7, you don't know. You don't have the capacity in your brain. You don't have the brain capacity to, that's worded better, to figure out what gender you are. And at that age, kids don't realize the difference between sex, your body, what you're born with, versus gender, what you mentally and emotionally are. So it's a very difficult decision to make as a child, and a child shouldn't have to make that decision. I want to tell a little story, and I'm going to read it directly from the website page. David Reimer was a Canadian man who was born as a healthy male but was sexually reassigned and raised as female after his penis was accidentally destroyed during circumcision. They basically botched his circumcision. Psychologist John Money oversaw the case and reported the reassignment as successful and as evidence that gender identity was primarily learned. So he basically did this for his own selfish reasons and was like, yeah, why don't we try this? Go ahead, change his gender, change his sex, and we'll see what happens. Ta-da! And he grew up as female. But a sexologist later reported that the guy, David Reimer, never identified as female, and that at 15, he started identifying as male and began living as male. He took testosterone. He got a sex change. He later went public with his story after his parents finally told him to discourage the same kinds of stuff. Obviously, I'm no longer reading exactly from the page. And he eventually committed suicide due to suffering years of severe clinical depression financial instability, and a dissolving marriage. This is a family that thought, hey, this thing got botched, why don't we just raise our child as a different gender than it's born with? They can, well, let's prove that that kids can decide on their own, but they can't. They really can't. Sex is something that you are born with, and you need to keep it as you are born, unless you yourself physically feel a different, physically, emotionally, mentally feel like you are the other sex, like you are the other gender. You shouldn't have that decision decided for you by a sexologist or by your parents. You don't want your parents saying, like, now, you are going to be male when you grow up. It doesn't work like that. You figure this out on your own. And, so yeah. Okay, that's a really, really long, oh god. Yeah, I'll have a question. Okay, I hate to say it, I'm not very active in keeping up with LGBTQA news and media. For those of you who don't know, A means asexual, correct me if I'm wrong, in the LGBTQA thing. Do you think it's important to do so? I think it's very important to do so. Shame on me for not doing so. I do sometimes. I mean, like, I don't keep up, like, as intensely as a lot of people do. I mean, like, I know what's going on. I keep up more than people who don't care. If there's an article on the front page of the newspaper about, and it's like LGBTQA news, then I'm gonna read it. But I'm not gonna go searching for this stuff. I should, but I don't. Sorry. So, this video is ridiculously long. Have a great week, you guys. I will see you the normal day, Sunday. If I don't, I'm sorry, again. See you guys on Sunday. Bye. Comment, rate, subscribe.